see, this book by Ogden Stonehealer describes the events of 1078 AE that caused the transformation of the dwarves. The dwarves are not really gone. They are living weapons, no less real than the hammer of the great dwarf that created them. This hammer, wielded by King Jalus Iron Hammer, was the magical catalyst. It caused the success of the rite of the great dwarves. The rite connected all dwarves' minds so that they could be stronger together. They became one great dwarf instead of many weak ones. This collective consciousness, along with some Azura humans and stubborn Norn, put the great destroyer to rest. King of the Dwarves. Ogden Stonehealer delivers a possibly premature eulogy to King Jalus Ironhammer, last and greatest king of Deldrimor. Never before, and never again, will there be such a ruler as King Jalus Ironhammer. Steadfast and mighty, he inspired love from the dwarves, and loved them in return. Black was the day when Jalus's eyes went firm as iron. He made the decision that it was time. The tome of the Rubicon predicted it. The Deldrimor dwarves would make the ultimate sacrifice. Jalus never once hesitated. He stood at the fore with his subjects around him, and he performed the ritual known as the Rite of the Great Dwarf. It turned us to stone so that we could fight the Great Destroyer on even terms. The last time I saw my king, he was leading a charge into the depths of Tyria, into the nest of Primordus' destroyers. As summarized by Wilhelm Tannhauser, Associate Archivist of Durmand Priory. Our world has seen the rise and fall of the Serpent Kingdoms, the arrival and exodus of the gods, the renewal and limitation of magic, and the devastation of dragonfire in the saga of humans. Cults and conspiracies have fought to destroy civilization, yet heroes have risen to defeat them. Evils long forgotten rise again, as history repeats itself in new forms and guises. The Shining Blade, once exiles and revolutionaries, have restored the rightful ruler of Kryta to her throne. We venture into the countryside, no longer fearing the oppression of the White Mantle. Races once locked in bitter war now live in the same streets, work in the same neighborhoods, and trade in the same marketplaces. And today, Tyria unites in the struggle against the dragons. This history by Genzo Talonrand tells of Tengu population migrations over the years. Tengu have always built perches to watch the world turn, but sometimes we are pushed off to the great guests. My people had to flee the home we had made for millennia in Kantha when the Ministry of Purity blew us north to Tyria. When the great tsunami hit, we built our dominion of Sanctum K to defend against Zaitan's minions. Now we see the world ripped by dragon's teeth and send a message of survival to all the races we believe it in taking flight. Warden Elira delivers a primer on the history and nature of the Forgotten. What you need to know about the Forgotten is this. They once acted as wardens to ancient races in Tyria and shepherded their development from primitive to civilized. They served the beings known as the Five Gods, and they fought wars for them. They had strong connections to Glint, and they left guardians with her for many centuries. During the last dragon cycle, it was the Forgotten who freed Glint from Kalkatork's corruption and control. In gratitude, she hid them from the elder dragons until they returned to sleep. If they remain in Tyria, they are elusive at best, but many believe they have gone back to the mists from which they came, perhaps never to return. Well, that's me. This detailed account of the final fight with the elder dragon Zaitan includes a list of full pact members who were killed. The feats of Lady Barbara are called out as having been critical to the victory. A scholarly argument for the symmetry between elder dragons and the human gods. Unfortunately, by the end, it is clear that no proof exists to support this theory. I can see it. Oh. Okay. Ooh, what the heck? Okay, so basically, the human gods that are listed are Duena, which is the high goddess of healing, air, warmth, and life. She's stated as the head of the pantheon. There's Balthazar, Melendru, Lissa, Grenth, and Cormir. Let's see. Balthazar is the heroic god of war, fire, strength, and challenge. Melendru is the goddess of nature, earth, protection, and growth. Lissa, the twin goddesses of beauty, water, energy, and illusion. Individually, they are Lys and Evia. Evia? Grenth is the arbiter god of darkness, ice, death, and judgment. And Cormyr is the newborn goddess of order, spirit, knowledge, and truth. Aside from the six aforementioned gods, there are other known fallen gods. They are Doom, Grenth's predecessor, who was overthrown by Grenth for being an unjust god of death. Abaddon, which is Cormyr's predecessor, who was imprisoned for attempting to overthrow the other gods, and an unnamed predecessor of Abaddon, who only mentioned by the apostate. Which, the apostate is an outcast Marganite. He veered away from Abaddon's path after coming to believe that Abaddon is not an eternal god, that there were other gods before he was imprisoned in the realm of torment. Let's see. Let's see. I think I've gone over this before, but these are the known Elder Dragons right now. There's Primordus, Durmand, Zaitan, Krakatork, Mordremoth, and S. We're not sure who S is yet. At present, there's also Glint, Blast, and Urine. They're also Elder Dragons. But I could see it would make sense with them corresponding with the human gods. You see Primordus, Fire and Conflagration. That would go well with Balthazar, who is the god of war, fire, strength, challenge. Durmand, which is ice and persuasion. It's kind of tricky. I'd almost say it'd be this one, because that would be Mordremoth. That would be Zaitan. Or Durmand. Kind of tough to decide. Yeah, I could see it. But it could also just be some baloney. Who knows? Who knows? Onward. Yeah, this is the next one. Let's see. This history by Baltec discusses the ruler of Alona from 200 BE to 452 AE. The arduous task on unearthing what happened during the rule of the primeval kings is compounded by the devastation of the Scare plague at the end of their reign. The golden age of Alona was all but erased by the chaos that ensued when people succumbed to insects that eviscerated them. An adept research can rediscover the truth about Alona's splendor during this period. The socio-economic divide can be seen in the architecture of devastated Farinor. Copious servants were available to serve the royalty. These royals had relics from as far away as Kryda in such strong archimetrical infusions that they ruled without opposition for 600 years. Damn. Okay, onward. Let's see, Shiro Tagachi's biography. Written by Anonymous, this document is behind-the-scenes account of Shiro Tagachi's life. In the early years, Shiro was a loyal guardsman and hero to the Canthan Emperor. He fell under the influence of a demon fortune-teller sent by an ancient being named Abaddon. Shiro turned on his own ruler, slaying him, and was killed in the ensuing battle. His death wail unleashed all the magic he'd stolen and been gifted in what has come to be called the Jade Wind. The Jade Wind turned the Jade Sea into solid jade, encasing all its creatures forever, and had many other terrible repercussions. Shiro returned as a vengeful spirit, leading an army of magical constructs known as Shiroken. He attacked Cantha, but was eventually defeated and cast into the Realm of Torment. Once more, he returned to fight as Abaddon's general, ruler of the Realm of Torment. Only with great difficulty were the heroes of Tyria able to defeat him that time. He has not been seen since. See, Stone Summit siege weaponry. These appear to be hand-drawn plans for siege weapons. The notes on the first page state that they are original drawings done by the Stone Summit dwarves. A brief historical passage reveals that the Stone Summit dwarves once enslaved the Dredge until overthrown. After they warred with the Delgamore dwarves and lost, they scattered and disappeared. The evening song. Let me interact. Hello. These are collected poems by Nightfall, compiled by Maloney. When the undead arise and the old women cry, the Sun Spirits fight to shut down the inevitable fall of night. Farish's troops need a cart full of pain, with Cormyr to lead. The Sun Spirits will never complain. Crossing the desolation to face Joko himself, we all tremble a little and make haste over the continental shelf. Through devastation and torment, we see Cormyr rise, and after an extensive effort, Abaddon dies. If you're not mistaken, this ancient tome was written by someone known as the Apostate. It appears to describe something similar to what you saw in your vision of the eternal alchemy. The author calls it the Antikytheria, describing it as a cosmic mechanism made of many parts, all spinning around a central body known as ancient Crichton as Theria, or Tyria. 6 large bodies orbit the world, existing in primal symbiosis. The energies move with the push and pull of positive and negative, ever in motion. The apostate says one thing that is especially troubling: should the energies become imbalanced, the world will tilt, and all beings will fall off of it into the void. It's probably a metaphor. This book, written by a royal scribe, has become one of the most beloved volumes in classrooms across Tyria, Simon's History of Ascalon. It is revealing historical and cultural work, including various notes. Simon could not resist putting it into it. His ability to analyze political conflict and diplomatic maneuvering was unparalleled. The book includes coverage of the war between Ascalon and Kryta in great details, with insightful commentary and evaluation. This is a placeholder book left to indicate that the tome of the 5 True Gods is currently unavailable due to ongoing translation efforts. The Magonite Malix. No one knows who wrote this, but it is an ancient letter to High Priest Zelix, a forgotten who led a historic assault on the Magonites, demon followers of Abaddon. To be noted, breaching the Ebony Citadel will likely kill you. Malix the Unyielding rules the 4 Lords of Anguish, and they will shred you. If they don't get you, Malix will. If you do succeed, Malix will embark on a mission of vengeance from which you are unlikely to escape. If you insist, do not use standard tactics against this demon. They will not work. Good luck. I hope I see you again. Interesting. What are bloodstones? From notes taken by a young Nicholas Sanford in discussion with his friends, historic figure Durmand, a renowned historian. And we're in his priory. Yeah. Last time Elder Dragons awoke, seers put magic in a stone to save it from dragons. This worked. After dragons went back to sleep, gods came and hoarded bloodstone and other treasures in Ara. Abaddon, god of water and secrets, gave the stone away to some races. This caused wars. Because people fought over it. King Dork begged that it be taken back so that the battles for the power would end. The gods agreed. They used Doric's blood to seal the stones, blood plus stone equal bloodstone, and broke it into 5 pieces. They threw them into a big volcano. Of course, it erupted and spewed them out. People found them and used them for evil, like Marsad. Not all have been found. Bloodstones affected an area, healing and cursing. For example, The 4 bloodstones, 5th was a key, whatever that means. The properties: aggression, destruction, preservation, and denial. Magic flows from the bloodstones back into the world. Bloodstone shards are rare, but still known to affect anyone or anything within range. Bloodstone dust is far less effective. High Priest Alcar of the Deldrimor dwarves explains in a letter why the tome must be secured beyond the reach of any. Oof, that means dead. I just rescued with the help of a heroic human the Tome of the Rubicon from the Stone Summit. The idiots were attempting to read from it and summon the Great Destroyer. I have translated it in portions, but the ancient language is difficult to understand. I do believe there is a prophecy here, however, one that mentions the Deldrimor line. Once the translation is complete, I will secure the tome until such time as it is needed. Fear not, I will not fall into ignorant hands. It will not fall into ignorant hands again. On the back is written in a different hand, tome never recovered. Oops. Let's see, this autobiography focuses mostly on the events surrounding the ascension of Cormyr in 1075 AE. I am Kost the Jarin, and I gave up a lot for the Sunspears. I lost promotions, a father, a sister, friends, and my home to fight for the organization. I became known as the Bane of the Corsairs and Demons. I fought for my country and my spear marshal. Holy Goddess Lissa gave me Cormyr and Maloney. One of the 2 I married, the other I pray to. I love them both with all my being. I risked my life many times for Cormyr, but she got what every great warrior deserves. She died courageously. I'm stuck. Where's that go? Holograms, interesting. What's that? Is that Zaitan's tail? Oh shit, what the fuck? I didn't even notice that. Damn. Yeah, that's Zaitan's tail. Jesus. Let's see, anything else? I think that's... Oh damn, did I beat through it all? I guess I did. Oh, shit. I guess I'll go ahead and end that part here.
Everything has unfolded as I